Nestle provides you with tastier and healthier everyday choices to enhance your quality of life. Nestle, good food, good life.
Whether you're a devoted gym goer or a serious triathlon competitor, nutrition fuels your performance. Sarah Chandler from the Sports Science Institute of South Africa explains diets for athletes.
The diets between a devoted gym goer and an amateur athlete or even an elite athlete aren't that different. It's mostly a question of the amount that they need. Endurance athletes usually require more carbohydrate, mostly because that's the principal fuel that they will burn in long duration type activities, whereas a lot of muscle or power-based sports usually need a slightly higher protein, but they also need carbohydrate as well, so it's just a mix and match between the two to try and get the ratio correct.
Everyone is unique, and so are their needs for their specific sport and training level. So it's important that their diet addresses their unique requirements.
If you go to the gym 5 times a week and you're looking to increase muscle mass, or maybe you're looking to decrease fat mass, your goals will then reflect in the type of changes that you make in your diet together.
Endurance athletes require plenty of energy to help them cope with demands placed on them for long distances and long periods of time. James Medcalf is a great example of an enthusiastic runner.
I train 6 times a week and I run anywhere from 75 kilometers to 110 kilometers a week. I spend 3 weeks on hard training, 1 week rest week. I think food and nutrition is directly related to your performance. If you don't eat properly and you don't take the right nutrition, you're most likely not going to perform to your best level. For me, it's one of the most important factors to focus on, and I'm constantly learning and trying to optimize my food and nutrition so that I can perform better.
For James, his specific dietary concern arises post-race. As he tapers off his training after events, he also gains a bit of weight, which he would like to avoid in the future.
With a lot of endurance athletes, it's not so much the fact that you're not getting it right, but sometimes just small things that you need to just maybe improve on. You might find often that a lot of people have different strategies for race day versus what they train with. And one of the things I try to encourage athletes to do is to always make sure that they match, and that whatever you do in training, you're also practicing on race day.
So going into taper, in previous races before, I've noticed I've picked up a little bit of weight. Is that quite normal?
Ideally, you should already be at racing weight. You should probably not be trying to lose weight in the last phase of your training, so you should remain relatively weight stable. And then when you're tapering, the idea would be, again, because you drop your training load quite substantially, you want to just make sure that you don't then put on unnecessary weight either.
A former fencing champion, Ashley Moret, has quickly risen up the ranks in his new sport, powerlifting. Ashley follows quite a balanced diet with extra protein to maintain his muscle mass.
I do the sport of powerlifting. I do between 3 to 5 training sessions a week, depending on where I am in terms of competition season. In an average training session, you're adding all the weight that you end up lifting, whether it be small or large. You end up lifting between 5 and 10 tons, really.
Lifting a few hundred kilograms will make anyone hungry. It's crucial that the number, size and timing of Ashley's meals are carefully planned and monitored.
Your average person will eat 2 to 3 meals a day. But when you're doing the type of training that I'm doing, where your body is just exerted to the max, I have to eat 5 to 6 times a day. Optimal nutrition optimizes your recovery for optimal results.
As Ashley's training is progressing, he's noticed an increase in fatigue. Although he does have a healthy diet, Sarah has some advice which may help Ashley feel a bit more energized.
If you are feeling fatigued, it's usually because there might not be enough energy in the rest of your day. So often, in terms of looking at your diet, maybe we should focus on including a little bit more carbohydrate with your protein after training, or just seeing how much it is and see if that makes you feel a bit better during the rest of the day.
I usually compete in the 105 weight category, but I'm currently weighing in at 108. So how do I combat the fatigue and still lose the 3 kilograms I need to for competition?
I would suggest that you look at your nutrition plan quite carefully, obviously, to try not to compromise your training over the next month leading up to competition by trying to lose the weight at the same time. But to look at really focusing on your intake around your training, but then focusing on what you're missing or what you can reduce outside of training times.
A dietitian is the ideal person to assist you in optimizing your nutrition for better performance, be it to build endurance, muscles, or lose a little weight before races.
Advice to aspiring athletes would be to train hard and to try and make sure that you don't leave anything out. So just make sure that you're looking after your nutrition, you're watching what you're eating and drinking, and that it matches what you're doing in your training.
Nestle provides you with tastier and healthier everyday choices to enhance your quality of life. Nestle, good food, good life.